In the untamed wilds of Faerun, where the wind howls through ancient forests with a mournful cry and the ground thunders under the charge of warriors clad in furs and steel, barbarians emerge as the embodiment of primal rage and unbreakable resilience. Their roars rise like storm winds across battlefields strewn with broken shields, the metallic tang of blood mingling with the earthy scent of trampled grass. As they channel ancestral fury or inner strength to shatter their foes, these fierce fighters stand apart from the polished knights or arcane scholars, their power drawn from the raw spirit of the land, whether the crunch of snow under boots in northern tundras, the heat of desert sand shifting beneath nomadic strides, or the humid rustle of jungle vines swaying in Chultan depths. In a world of civilized order, barbarians represent the wild soul, their presence a reminder of nature's untamed heart beating beneath the surface. Barbarians are more than mere warriors. They are living legends, their lives shaped by tribes that trace their lineage to the dawn of time, where survival demanded strength and courage. Their rage is a sacred dance, a connection to spirits or a surge of personal might that transforms them into avatars of destruction, their axes gleaming with the sweat of battle under flickering torchlight. We'll explore the diverse types of barbarians, from berserkers lost in frenzied trances to totem warriors bonded with the spirits of bear, eagle, and wolf, each with unique capabilities that echo their cultural roots. We'll delve into their remarkable features, unarmored resilience, honed in hunts where the crunch of leaves betrays prey, reckless charges that leave the air whistling with weapon swings, and the indomitable might to lift boulders that groan under strain. Their cultures will unfold like a map of wild lands, from the Uthgard nomads roaming snowy tundras to the Rashomon berserkers battling ethereal foes under auroral skies, each tribe a story of survival and tradition. Finally, we'll meet famous barbarians whose deeds resonate through history figures like Minsk with his booming laugh, or Wolfgar wielding his mighty hammer, their legacies carved into the lore of Dungeons and Dragons. Prepare to feel the pulse of the wild as we journey through these primal warriors. Our exploration begins with their origins, a tale rooted in the harsh lands that forged their enduring spirit. The origins of barbarians trace back to the dawn of mortal civilizations, rooted in the primal essence of survival and raw power. These warriors, often born from the harsh fringes of society, embody the wild spirit of the land itself, fierce guardians who channel the fury of storms, the endurance of mountains, and the cunning of beasts. Their history is not written in gilded tomes, but etched in the scars of tribal lore, passed down through oral tales around campfires that crackle softly under starry skies, the air scented with wood smoke and the faint metallic tang of sharpened axes. The earliest barbarians emerged in the wake of the creator race's fall, when humans, elves, and dwarves first spread across Toril amid the ruins of Nethril and other fallen empires. In the frozen north, tribes like the Uthgard arose from the descendants of Uthgar, a legendary warrior who battled giants in the spine of the world, his roars echoing like avalanches through snow-laden valleys. Uthgar, once a raider from Ruthim, ascended to godhood after conquering the spirit totems of beasts, his followers adopting these as symbols bare for strength in forested glades where leaves rustle under heavy paws. Eagle for vision on craggy peaks where winds whip with icy sharpness. These tribes roamed the savage frontier, clashing with orcs in battles where the ground shook under charging feet, their war cries blending with the howl of blizzards. To the east, in Rashomon, barbarians known as berserkers drew from a lineage of spirit warriors, their history intertwined with the witches of Rashiman who wove magic into the land's very soil. The Rashemi people, hardy folk with skin weathered by steppe winds that carry the fresh scent of grasslands, faced invasions from Thay, their berserkers entering frenzied states where blood pounded like war drums, axes swinging with the force of tempests. Lore speaks of the first berserkers communing with land spirits in sacred groves, where the rustle of leaves conveyed ancestral wisdom, granting them rage that turned battles into whirlwinds of steel and fury. In the sweltering jungles of Cholt, barbarian tribes, like the Tabaxi or human clans, channeled the primal rage of dinosaur spirits, their origins linked to Ubtao, the creator god who shaped the land with footsteps that left craters filled with humid mist. These warriors hunted amid vines that slithered like serpents, their roars mimicking the thunderous bellows of tyrannosaurs. The air thick with the earthy aroma of rain-soaked soil and the sharp tang of predator blood. Chultan barbarians adapted totem paths to local beasts, bear totems, manifesting as armored ankylosaurs, whose plates clanked like stone on stone. Southern deserts birthed the Bedine nomads of Anorak, their history forged in the aftermath of Netheral's fall, when sand swallowed cities in whispering dunes that shifted underfoot like living waves. These barbarians, veiled against stinging winds laden with fine grit, rode camels across wastes where mirages shimmered like false oases, their rage a storm of scimitars flashing in sun-glared light. They revered spirits of the sands, entering trances where the heat haze blurred vision, granting endurance to cross endless expanses without water, their skin cracking like parched earth yet unyielding. Barbarians' lore evolved through Faerun's cataclysms. During the time of troubles in 1358 DR, when gods walked the earth amid wild magic surges that crackled the air like lightning, barbarian tribes like the Uthgard clashed with divine avatars, their rage a primal counter to godly power, axes biting into ethereal flesh with a wet thud. The spell plague in 1385 DR warped lands, birthing wild magic barbarians in plaguelands, where the ground hummed with unstable energy, their fury manifesting in chaotic bursts that left the air shimmering with residual spells. The Second Sundering in the 1480s DR restored ancient spirits, empowering totem warriors in renewed groves where leaves rustled with revived voices, strengthening bonds to ancestors. In Rashemen, berserkers defended against Thayon incursions, their charges thundering across steppes like herds of stampeding beasts, the earth churning under boots caked in mud. Throughout history, barbarians served as protectors of the wild, resisting civilization's encroachment. In the north, Uthgard raids on Luskan echoed with war horns blaring through fog, their axes felling foes in sprays of blood that steamed in cold air. Chultan tribes battled Yuan-Ti in jungles where vines constricted like serpents, their totem rage granting strength to shatter stone idols with a crunch. Bedine nomads harried Gentarim caravans in deserts where sands whispered secrets, their scimitars flashing in moonlight that cast long shadows. This primal history defines barbarians as links to Faerun's untamed past, their legacy a roar that defies time, echoing in every clash of steel and surge of rage. Types of barbarians. Barbarians manifest their primal rage in diverse forms, each type a unique expression of their connection to the land, ancestors, or inner chaos. These archetypes, woven into the fabric of Dungeons and Dragons lore, reflect the barbarian class's versatility, allowing warriors to channel fury in ways that echo their cultural roots or personal paths. From the frenzied berserkers of Rashomon, whose roars blend with the howl of steppe winds, to the totem warriors invoking beast spirits in snow-dusted tundras. Each type offers distinct abilities and flavors for campaigns. This section delves into the main types, exploring their origins, features, and capabilities, immersing you in the sensory world of their untamed power, the crunch of leaves under charging feet, the warmth of ancestral whispers on the skin, or the crackle of elemental storms in the air. Berserker Path, the frenzied warriors. The Berserker Path embodies the raw, unbridled rage that surges like a storm breaking over northern hills, where the air grows heavy with the scent of rain-soaked earth and the thunder of charging hordes. Originating from tribes like the Rashemi Berserkers or the Uthgard of the savage frontier, these barbarians draw from an inner fury that traces back to ancient rituals of spirit binding, where warriors entered trances amid sacred groves, the leaves rustling like whispers of long-dead heroes. In lore, berserkers are often guardians against threats like Thayan invaders or orc raids, their battles leaving fields churned to mud underfoot, the metallic tang of blood mingling with sweat. Their core ability, Berserker Rage, amplifies standard rage with frenzied strikes, allowing extra attacks that swing with the force of a gale, axes whistling through the air like howling winds. This frenzy grants advantage on strength checks, muscles bulging with a warmth that pulses like a heartbeat, enabling feats such as shattering gates with a resounding crack or hurling boulders that thud heavily on impact. However, the path's intimidating presence terrifies foes with a roar that vibrates the chest, leaving enemies frozen as if gripped by icy fear, their breaths quickening in the still air. At higher levels, retaliation lets berserkers counterattack when wounded, their riposte swift as a lightning strike, the clash of weapons ringing sharply. Yet, this path carries exhaustion's toll, a deep fatigue that settles like a heavy fog after battle, muscles aching with the echo of spent fury. In campaigns, berserkers fit as frontline destroyers in wilds where the crunch of snow under boots signals an ambush, their rage a beacon against darkness. Totem Warrior Path, Spirit-Bonded Guardians. The Totem Warrior Path connects barbarians to the spirits of beasts, a bond forged in misty glades where the air carries the musky scent of fur and the soft pad of paws on forest floor. Rooted in tribes like the Uthgard, who revere totem animals as ancestral guides. This type draws from lore of shamans communing with nature's essences bare, for unyielding strength in wooded realms where branches creak under weight. Eagle for keen vision over craggy peaks where winds whip with crisp sharpness. Wolf for pack tactics in steppes where howls echo under moonlit skies. Their spirit seeker ability grants rituals like beast sense, allowing vision through animal eyes. The world sharpening with heightened smells the earthy loam under paws or the salty tang of prey. Totem Spirit, at level 3, imbues rage with beast traits. Bear grants resistance to all but psychic damage, body toughening like hide under strain. Eagle enhances sight and speed, the air rushing past in dives. Wolf bolsters allies, instincts sharpening like a predator's gaze in hunts where the pack circles silently. Aspect of the beast at level 6 deepens this bear for doubled carrying capacity, muscles warming with inner power. Eagle for unerring sight in dim light, shadows parting like mist. Wolf for tracking, sense leading like invisible threads through underbrush. Primal knowledge adds skills, intuition flowing like a river's current. At level 14, totemic attunement completes the bond bear's frightening presence, roars like a beast's challenge, freezing foes. Eagle's flight lifts on spectral wings, the wind rushing with freedom. Wolf's knockdown trips enemies, the thud of falls echoing. In lore, totem warriors guard sacred sites, their rage a harmony with nature's rhythm, battles leaving the air alive with spirit echoes. Ancestral guardian path, echoes of the past. The ancestral guardian path summons ethereal protectors from lineage spirits, a connection felt in ancestral halls where the air grows cool with ghostly presences and the faint whisper of voices carries on the wind. Originating from cultures like the Rashemi, who honor Hathrans and spirits in circles of standing stones that hum with latent energy, or Redmond tribes in Icewind Dale, where blizzards carry the calls of long-dead warriors. This type draws from lore of shamans invoking forebears during invasions, their ethereal forms shimmering like auroras over snowy fields. Their ancestral protectors at level 3 manifest during rage, ghostly figures with translucent armor that clinks faintly, reducing damage to allies as if shields absorb blows with a soft thud. Spirit Shield at level 6 extends protection, spirits intervening with a chill touch that numbs attacks, the air cooling as they manifest. Vengeful Ancestors at level 10 reflects damage back, spirits striking with spectral weapons that whistle through the ether. Consult the spirits at level 10 grants augury or clairvoyance, visions unfolding like mist parting to reveal glimpses, the air tingling with otherworldly energy. In campaigns, ancestral guardians fit shamans defending villages, their rage a bridge to the past, battles echoing with the clash of ghostly blades. Storm Herald Path, Elemental Fury Unleashed. The Storm Herald Path harnesses nature's tempests, rage surging like a gale over crashing waves or a blizzard's howl, originating from coastal or desert tribes where the air crackles with elemental power. In Chult, Sea Heralds channel ocean fury amid humid jungles where vines rustle in salty breezes. Desert Heralds in Anarok summon sandstorms that whip with gritty sting. Tundra Heralds in the north unleash frost that frost the breath. Storm Aura at level 3 activates elemental effects. Desert scorches foes with heat radiating like a forge. Sea strikes with lightning that crackles ozone. Tundra chills with frost that numbs like icy wind. Storm Soul at level 6 grants resistance, body adapting the skin warming against cold or tingling with static. Sea Soul adds swimming speed, water parting smoothly. Desert Soul ignites weapons with fire that flickers orange. Tundra Soul slows enemies with cold that spreads like frost on glass. Raging Storm at level 14 amplifies. Desert knocks prone with sand blasts that shift underfoot. Sea pulls with currents that tug like tides. Tundra roots in ice that cracks under strain. In lore, Storm Heralds protect against elemental threats, their rage a harmony with nature's wrath, battles leaving the air alive with storm echoes. Wild Magic Path, Chaotic Primal Surge. The Wild Magic Path infuses rage with unpredictable arcane surges, originating from barbarians exposed to magical anomalies like the Spell Plague's remnants, where the ground hums with unstable energy and the air shimmers with wild magic. In Plaguelands, these warriors channel chaos, their fury erupting in bursts that crackle like lightning or bloom with illusory flowers scenting the air sweetly. Magic awareness at level 3 detects magic, senses tingling like a storm's approach. Bolstering magic at level 6 restores spell slots with a surge that warms the body. Wild Surge at level 3 triggers random effects bolts of energy, arcing with ozone scent, shadows coiling like smoke, or potted plants sprouting with earthy freshness. Unstable backlash at level 10 triggers surges on damage, the air vibrating with chaos. Controlled surge at level 14 allows choice, mastering the wild flow. In lore, wild magic barbarians thrive in unstable regions like Halrua. Their rage a dance with chaos, battles unpredictable as the spells that warp reality around them. These types showcase barbarians' adaptability, each a unique fury, echoing Faerun's diverse wilds. Features and capabilities. At the heart of every barbarian lies rage, a defining feature unlocked early in their path, transforming them into avatars of destruction. When activated, this state surges through the body like a wildfire, igniting dry grass, granting resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. The sting of blades, dulled as if striking hardened leather. The impact of clubs absorbed like a wave crashing on a rocky shore. Strength-based attacks gain advantage, muscles coiling with enhanced power that makes each swing whistle through the air with increased force, the impact resonating with a deep thud that vibrates bones. Constitution saves bolstered, the body endures poisons or exhaustion, as if fortified by the earth's unyielding stone. Rage lasts for a minute, but can be sustained by attacking or taking damage, the pulse of combat keeping the fire alive, the air around the barbarian growing warm with expended energy. Unarmored defense complements this, allowing barbarians to forego heavy plate for natural toughness, their dexterity and constitution forming an invisible shield as effective as male skin toughening, like weathered hide under the sun's relentless gaze. Movements fluid like a predator stalking through underbrush, where leaves crunch softly. This feature evokes the image of a shirtless warrior in a blizzard, snowflakes melting on heated skin, or a desert nomad dodging scimitars with sand shifting under bare feet. Danger sense heightens instincts, granting advantage on dexterity, saves against seen threat traps springing with a mechanical click, avoided with a graceful leap, or fireballs exploding in bursts of heat dodged, as if forewarned by a sudden chill in the air. Reckless attack embodies their daring, offering advantage on attacks at the cost of vulnerability, swings fueled by abandon that cut through defenses with a satisfying ring of steel, but leaving openings where the wind of near misses brushes the skin. As levels rise, feral instinct sharpens initiative, the world slowing, as senses heightened faint rustle of an ambush detected like a whisper in the wind. Brutal critical adds dice to critical hits, strikes landing with a crunch that echoes triumph. Indomitable, might ensures strength checks never fall below ability score. Lifts, feeling effortless as muscles strain against weights that groan in protest. Relentless rage defies death, allowing recovery from 0 hit points, with a surge that feels like a heartbeat restarting amid the haze of fading vision. Persistent rage sustains fury even in calm, the inner fire smoldering like embers in a banked hearth. Primal champion caps with godlike strength and constitution, bodies becoming legends boulders heaved with a rumble, endurance outlasting storms that lash with rain-scented fury. Subclass enhancements, tailored primal paths. Each barbarian subclass layers unique capabilities onto these foundations, drawing from lore to create specialized warriors. Berserker Path amplifies rage with frenzy, adding extra attacks that swing with frenzied speed, the air whistling as axes blur, but exhaustion follows like a heavy fog settling after the storm. Mindless rage shields against charm or fear, the mind clearing like a gale sweeping away clouds. Intimidating presence terrifies with a roar that vibrates the chest. Foes freezing as if gripped by icy dread. Retaliation counters hits with immediate strikes, the response swift as a lightning flash. Totem Warrior Path bonds with spirits. Spirit Seeker granting rituals like speak with animals, voices carrying on the wind like distant calls. Totem Spirit infuses rage, bear for resistance, body toughening like furred hide, eagle for flight speed, air rushing past in dives, wolf for pack advantage, instinct sharpening like a predator's gaze. Aspect of the beast deepens. Bear doubles carrying, muscles warming with power. Eagle sees far, horizons crisp as eagle vision. Wolf tracks scents like invisible trails. Totemic attunement completes. Bear frightens with a bellow. Eagle flies with spectral wings. Wolf knocks prone with a lunge. Ancestral Guardian Path summons guardians during rage. Ethereal figures shimmering like ghosts, reducing damage to allies with a soft ethereal clang. Spirit Shield extends protection, spirits intervening with a chill touch. Consult the Spirits offers augury, visions unfolding like mist parting. Vengeful Ancestors reflects damage, spirits striking with spectral weapons that whistle through air. Storm Herald Path harnesses elements. Storm Aura activates Aura's desert scorches, with heat radiating like a forge. Sea strikes with lightning crackling ozone. Tundra chills with frost-numbing skin. Storm Soul grants resistance, body adapting the skin warming against cold. Raging Storm amplifies. Desert knocks with sandblasts shifting underfoot. Sea pulls with currents tugging like tides. Tundra roots in ice cracking under strain. Wild Magic Path infuses rage with surges. Magic awareness detecting magic with a tingle like storms approach. Bolstering magic restores slots with a surge warming the body. Wild Surge triggers random effects bolts, arcing ozone, shadows coiling smoke-like. Unstable Backlash triggers on damage, air vibrating chaos. Controlled Surge allows choice, mastering Wild Flow. Zealot Path channels Divine Rage. Divine Fury adds necrotic or radiant damage. Strikes glowing with holy or unholy light. Warrior of the Gods eases resurrection, body reforming with a soft glow. Fanatical Focus rerolls, failed saves. Resolve hardening like stone. Zealous Presence inspires allies with a roar vibrating air. Rage Beyond Death defies death, body enduring wounds that bleed but persist. Battle Rager Path, for dwarves, uses spiked armor in rage, grapples puncturing with sharp stings. Battle Rager Charge dashes with a thudding rush. Reckless Abandon heals with temporary hit points, wounds closing with a warm pulse. Battle Rager spikes damage in grapples, the air filling with a scent of blood. These features and capabilities make Barbarians versatile powerhouses, their primal essence a force that shapes epic tales. Barbarian cultures and tribes. Barbarian cultures and tribes form the beating heart of primal traditions, each shaped by the land's rhythm and the echoes of ancestral voices. These groups, scattered across diverse landscapes from frozen tundras to sweltering jungles, embody resilience and fury, their lives a harmony with nature's raw power. Far from the polished cities of the Sword Coast, where stone walls rise with the clang of hammers, barbarians thrive in the wild. Their camps, filled with the crackle of campfires, casting flickering light on faces weathered by storm and sun. Uthgard, totem guardians of the savage frontier. The Uthgard tribes roam the savage frontier, a land of rugged mountains and dense forests where the air carries the crisp scent of pine resin, and the distant howl of wolves blends with the wind's sigh through branches. Named after Uthgar, a legendary warrior who ascended to godhood after conquering beast spirits, these barbarians organize into clans devoted to totems like the Great Worm or Thunder Beast. Their camps are temporary, hide stretched over frames that creak softly in the breeze, encircled by totem poles carved with runes that seem to glow faintly under moonlight. Uthgard culture revolves around reverence for ancestors and spirits, rituals performed around sacred mounds where the earth feels alive, pulsing with buried power. Warriors enter trances during hunts, the ground thumping under charging feet as they channel totem rage bear for unyielding strength, feeling muscles swell like rooted trees. Elk for swift pursuits across plains, where grass whispers under boots. Festivals involve storytelling by firelight, the smoke curling with the aroma of roasted game, tales of Uthgar's battles echoing like thunder. They shun civilization, raiding settlements with axes that whistle through the air, but honor nature, leaving offerings at shrines where leaves rustle with spirit approval. In lore, Uthgard guard against threats like orcs, their war cries rising in valleys where echoes amplify like ancestral calls, embodying the North's untamed spirit. Rashemi Berserkers, spirit warriors of the East. In the eastern steppes of Rashomon, where the wind sweeps across open plains with a fresh, grassy scent, and the horizon shimmers with distant lakes, the Rashemi people cultivate a culture of fierce independence. They're barbarians, known as berserkers, who blend primal rage with spiritual guardianship. Protected by the Hathran's wise women who weave magic into the land, their chants humming like bees in blooming fields, the Rashemi face constant threats from Thay, their borders patrolled by warriors whose footsteps thud like drumbeats on frozen turf. Rashemi culture honors the land spirits, with berserkers entering lodges where the air grows warm with sweat and herbs, trances inducing visions of ethereal guardians that shimmer like auroras. Their rage is a sacred fury, bodies hardening like ancient oaks during battles where axes swing with the force of gales, the clash of steel ringing clear in crisp air. Festivals involve worm-slaying reenactments, the ground shaking under mock charges, and communal feasts where the savory aroma of spiced meats mingles with wood smoke. Women hold power as Hathrans, their spells protecting villages where thatched roofs rustle in breezes, while men as berserkers defend with unyielding might. In lore, Rashemi barbarians repelled invasions, their roars blending with spirit howls in mists that cloak the land like a protective veil, symbolizing harmony with nature's untamed essence. Redmen, nomads of Icewind Dale. Amid the frozen expanses of Icewind Dale, where the air bites with icy sharpness and snow crunches under booted feet like brittle glass, the Redmen tribes endure as hardy nomads, their culture a testament to survival in eternal winter. Descended from Northlanders who followed reindeer herds across tundras where winds howl like mournful wolves, these barbarians organize into clans named after beasts the elk tribe. Tiger Trebich, with totems carved from ivory that gleam softly in auroral light. Redmen life revolves around migration, tents of hide stretching taut against blizzards that whip with frosty gusts, camps encircled by sled dogs whose barks cut through the silence. Warriors channel rage in hunts, bodies warming with inner fire as they charge mammoths, spears thrusting with a thud that echoes across icy plains. Rituals honor Tempest, god of battles, around fires that crackle with thawing wood, the smoke carrying prayers skyward. They raid for resources, axes biting into shields with a splintering crack, but respect the land's balance, leaving offerings at cairns where stones stack like silent sentinels. In lore, Regimen clashed with 10 towns, their war cries rising in blizzards that blind foes, embodying the North's unforgiving spirit, their legacy etched in the frozen earth. Bedine, desert nomads of Anarok. In the shifting sands of Anauroch, where the air shimmers with heat haze and dunes whisper underfoot like silk sliding over skin, the Bedine tribes wander as resilient nomads, their culture forged in the aftermath of Netheral's fall, when the desert swallowed empires in swirling grains. These people, veiled against stinging winds laden with fine dust, live in tent encampments that rise like oases amid barren wastes, the fabric flapping softly in nocturnal breezes cooled by starlight. Bedine society centers on sheikhs leading raids, their scimitars flashing in sunlight that glares off polished blades, the clash ringing clear over shifting sands. Barbarians here channel desert rage, bodies adapting to heat like hardened leather, strike swift as sandstorms that blind with gritty blasts. Rituals honor sun and stars, gatherings around fires that flicker orange against the night, the air scented with spiced tea brewed over embers. They revere nomadic freedom, clashing with Gentarum intruders in ambushes where camel hooves thud muffled on dunes. In lore, Bedine survived Farum horrors, their endurance a testament to the desert's unyielding will, spirits whispering guidance in winds that carry the faint aroma of distant oases. Chultan tribes, jungle guardians. Deep in Chult's sweltering jungles, where the air hangs heavy with humidity, and the rustle of vines blends with the distant roar of waterfalls, tribal barbarians thrive as guardians of ancient ruins, their culture intertwined with dinosaur spirits and Ubtau's legacy. These warriors, adorned with feathers that sway like leaves in breezes thick with floral scents, live in villages of thatched huts elevated on stilts above flood-prone grounds that squelch underfoot. Chultan barbarians channel totem rage from beasts like tyrannosaurs, their bellows echoing through canopies where sunlight filters in dappled patterns. Hunts involve spears thrusting with a wet thud into scaled hides, the air filling with the musky odor of predator blood. Rituals honor Ubtao, mazes walked in silence where the ground is soft with fallen petals, invoking spirits that manifest as shadows dancing in firelight. They battle Yuan-Ti in ruins, overgrown with creepers that slither like serpents, axes chopping with a sharp crack. In lore, Chultan tribes resisted colonial incursions, their fury a storm of primal might amid the jungle's ceaseless hum of life. These cultures highlight barbarians' diversity, each tribe a unique harmony with their environment, their traditions enduring like the land itself. Famous barbarians in lore. Minsk, the Reshemi Ranger barbarian. Minsk, the boisterous berserker from Rashomon, bursts into dungeons and dragons lore like a storm breaking over eastern steppes, his bellows resounding with the force of thunder rolling across open plains. Originating from the Baldur's Gate series, Minsk hails from a land where the air grows heavy with the scent of wildflowers in summer meadows and the chill bite of winter winds that whip snow into blinding flurries. As a member of the Berserker Lodges, he trained amid sacred circles of standing stones that hum with spiritual energy, learning to channel rage that surges like a river flooding its banks. his muscles tensing with the warmth of inner fire. Mince's companion, Boo, the miniature giant space hamster, adds whimsy to his fury, a small creature whose squeaks cut through the roar of battle like a light breeze through heavy fog. His capabilities shine in combat. Wielding a two-handed sword that swings with a whistle through the air, his rage grants resistance to blows that would fell lesser men, the impact absorbed like waves crashing on a rocky shore. In adventures, Minsk charges into goblin hordes or dragon lairs, his war cry echoing off cavern walls slick with moisture, protecting allies with reckless abandon that leaves the ground churned to mud under stamping feet. His legacy endures in Tales of the Ballspawn saga, where he aided in thwarting Sarevok's plots in Baldur's Gate. The city's fog-shrouded streets hiding ambushes, where his axe bit deep with a satisfying thud. Minsk represents the heroic barbarian, fierce yet good-hearted, his simple wisdom cutting through complexity like a blade through flesh, inspiring players to blend humor with might in their own campaigns. Wolfgar, son of Icewind Dale. Wolfgar, the mighty barbarian from the Icewind Dale trilogy by R.A. Salvatore, rises like a blizzard sweeping across frozen tundras, where the air bites with icy sharpness and snow crunches under heavy boots like brittle glass. Born to the tribe of the elk in the harsh north, Wolfgar grew amid blizzards that howl like mournful wolves, learning survival in a land where the ground freezes solid and the faint scent of pine mingles with the crisp chill of endless winter. Captured by dwarves after a raid, he was forged anew in the forges of Mithril Hall, where the clang of hammers on anvil echoes through halls warmed by geothermal vents, emerging as a companion to Drist Duerden. Wolfgar's capabilities are legendary. Wielding Aegis Fang, a warhammer forged by Brunor Battlehammer that returns to his hand with a whistle through the air, its impact thundering like an avalanche on foes. His rage surges with the force of northern gales, granting strength to hurl the hammer across vast distances, the weapon spinning with a hum that cuts the cold wind. In battles against giants or demons, he charges with a roar that vibrates the snow-packed earth, his blows shattering armor with a crack that echoes off icy cliffs. Key exploits include slaying the white dragon Icing Death in a cavern where frost clings to walls like glittering diamonds, the beast's breath freezing the air in misty clouds, and his heroic sacrifice against the Yaklal in Menzoberranzan, the Underdark's gloom pierced by his final stand. Revived, Wolfgar's legacy inspires barbarians as symbols of redemption and might, his story a beacon in the North's endless night. Tibbeldorf Puent, the dwarven battle-rager. Tibbeldorf Puent, the frenzied battle-rager from Clan Battlehammer, charges into lore like a whirlwind of spiked armor clanking through Mithril Hall's echoing tunnels, where the air carries the metallic tang of forged steel and the warmth of underground forges. A dwarf barbarian of the Gutbuster Brigade, Puent's culture roots in dwarven resilience, his people mining deep where the earth groans under pickaxe strikes and gem veins gleam in lantern light. Battler-ragers, a subclass unique to dwarves, embrace rage in spiked suits that rasp against stone, turning them into living weapons. Puent's capabilities define the path. His rage amplifies attacks with spiked gauntlets that punch with a crunch of piercing metal, the scent of blood following each grapple where foes are shredded in embraces that leave the air sticky with gore. He charges with reckless fury, the ground shaking under his stomping boots, and retaliates against hits with counters that spike opponents, the impact resounding like hammer on anvil. In Salvatore's novels, Puent fights alongside the companions of the Hall against drow invasions in Mithril Hall, his bellows echoing through caverns where shadows dance on walls slick with moisture, and later against Obold's orcs in battles where the clash of steel blends with war cries. His death and undeath as a vampire add tragedy, but his legacy endures as the epitome of dwarven ferocity, inspiring players to create battle-agers who turn defense into offense in the depths. Vzul Chembril, the tyrannical berserker. Vzul Chembril, a Rashemi berserker turned Gentarim leader, embodies the dark side of barbarian might, his path twisting from primal warrior to tyrannical priest in service to Bane, where the air in his temples grows heavy with incense, masking the scent of fierce sweat. From Rashomon, where steps whisper with grass bending in winds, Soul's rage channeled the land spirits, but ambition led him to the Black Network, his axes swinging in raids that left villages smoldering with the acrid smell of burnt thatch. His capabilities blend berserker frenzy with clerical magic, rage surging like a storm in battles where his mace crushes with a bone-shattering thud, and divine spells like Hold Person Freeze foes with a chill that numbs limbs. As chosen of Bane, he wielded fear auras that oppressed the air like a heavy cloak, compelling submission. In lore, Soul rose through Gentarim ranks, clashing with the Harpers in shadows, where daggers whisper through the dark, and allying with Sirik during the time of troubles, temples echoing with chants that vibrate the stone. His death and resurrection highlighted barbarian resilience twisted by evil, a cautionary tale for players exploring dark paths. Catti-brie Battlehammer, the adopted Wildheart. Catti-brie, adopted daughter of Brunor Battlehammer, blends human spirit with dwarven grit, her barbarian traits shining in the companions of the Hall. Raised in Mithril Hall's echoing forges where hammers ring on anvils and the air warms with coal smoke, she channeled rage in battles against drow, her sword Khazidhia singing through the air with a keen whistle. Her capabilities include totem-like bonds from training, rage-granting resistance as she charges, the ground thumping under her strides. In novels, she wields Talmaril the Heartseeker, arrows streaking with a silver trail that pierces shadows, and faces demons in the Underdark, where the air grows cold with fear. Catti-brie's legacy as a bridge between cultures inspires mixed heritage barbarians. Her story, a blend of fury and compassion in a world of endless conflict. Arkan the Cruel, the Dragonborn Zealot. Arkan the Cruel, a Dragonborn barbarian of the Zealot path, serves Tiamat with fanatical devotion, his scales gleaming red under hellish light in Avernus, where the air steams with sulfur. From Chult's jungles, where vines rustle with hidden dangers, Arkan's rage is divine, sustained by Tiamat's blessings that pulse like a heartbeat in his veins. His capabilities include Divine Fury, strikes radiating necrotic energy that drains with a cold touch, and Warrior of the Gods, easing resurrection as his body reforms with a glow. In Descent into Avernus, he wields the hand of Vecna, its bony grip crushing foes with a crunch, the air growing heavy with undeath's chill. Arkan's legacy as a villainous zealot highlights the path's potential for evil, inspiring DMs to create fanatical barbarians whose rage burns eternally. And so, the fire dims and the battle cries fade. The rage of the barbarian still echoes in distant mountains where storm and steel once clashed. But here, in the quiet of the night, you are safe. May your dreams carry you through vast tundras, ancient forests, and over snowy peaks, May you rest like a warrior after victory, strong, fearless, and at peace. Sleep well, traveler. The wild will still be waiting when you wake.